Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Hong Kong film. Big Boss B suppresses. Explosive soldiers embark on assassination, killing and cutting decisively without wasting words. Lin Dong crossed the world of Hong Kong integration and helped Red Star conquer Causeway Bay in 3 years, becoming Red Star's top red stick and pushing Hong Kong Island horizontally. Unexpectedly, he was suspected and framed by the top boss B, and almost lost his life. 3 years later, Lin Dong returned strong and activated the killing and explosive weapon system. As long as it costs money, top-notch assassins and special forces have unlimited explosive power. On Fei'e Mountain, kill the big shot B's whole family and say, "Ah B, if you come out to mess around, you must keep your word. If you say you want to kill your whole family, then kill your whole family. Mr. Jiang, you have more money, more land, more women, and more bullet holes on your body," said Jiang Tiansheng, after finishing his leading role in the villa in Shallow Water Bay. The strongest and most ruthless ruler is on Hong Kong Island, lawless and boundless. Xing, Dongfeng, Liansheng, Hao Bang, and Zhong Xinyi all surrendered and said, "I've seen Mr. Lin." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Release from prison, awakening explosive weapon system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Causeway Bay, Tongko. Boss B sat on top of the main seat, took a puff of smoke, and watched as the crowd slowly spoke up. Jiang Tiansheng assigned a task to have someone from our hall take down the Bhagwan. Who would be willing to go? As the words fell, there was no response from the people around. Big Boss B was not surprised, but instead turned his gaze to Lin Dong. "Dong, the person who assassinated Bhagwan will be left to you. As long as you can kill Bhagwan, I will elevate you to become a red stick." Red stick. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone present was shocked. I didn't expect Big Boss B to spend a lot of money this time. Suddenly, everyone's gaze turned to Lin Dong. In fact, among all the people present, Lin Dong has made the greatest contribution. As the top hitter under Big Boss B, he helped Big Boss B from Fei'e Mountain to Causeway Bay, successfully pushing Big Boss B to the throne of the hall leader. This red stick should have been his long ago. At this moment, Lin Dong stood up slowly and spoke solemnly, "Thank you, Brother B, I will definitely complete the task." Boss B nodded in satisfaction upon hearing this. However, only one person in the crowd had a black face. That's Chen Haonan. After the crowd dispersed, Chen Haonan eagerly approached Big Boss B and said, "Brother B, you really want to give the position of the red stick to Lin Dong, who is fighting the street?" Upon hearing this, Big Boss B gave a cold smile. How could it be? Jiang Tiansheng didn't even assign the task of killing Bhagwan, let alone give the red stick a name. "I'm just saying this to block Yu's mouth." After speaking, Big Boss B's eyes darkened. To be honest, Lin Dong fought for him all the way from Fei'e Mountain to Causeway Bay, which was definitely a rare hit. Unfortunately, it was because of his ability to fight that he gained a lot of attention in Causeway Bay. Now, everyone only has the title of Lin Dong, even surpassing the popularity of his boss B. Some even say that Lin Dong is more suitable as the boss of Causeway Bay than his boss B. How can his boss B tolerate this? Thinking of this, there was a hint of ferocity in Big Boss B's eyes. Turning his head, he said to Chen Haonan beside him, "Anan, you keep an eye on Lin Dong for me. As long as Bhagwan dies, you'll call the police." Upon hearing these words, suddenly, Chen Haonan's eyes lit up, and his face's unwillingness turned into a strong sense of schadenfreude. Inside the prison, Lin Dong suddenly woke up from the bed. Looking at the spider webs in the corner, the broken walls, and the damp ground, Lin Dong still felt a daze. It has been 3 years, he has been wearing this world for 3 years. He was originally still sleeping in bed, but as soon as he opened his eyes, he arrived at this prison. Over the course of 3 years, Lin Dong gradually accepted this fact. This is a world of Hong Kong and Hong Kong integration, with Hongxing, Dongfeng, Liansheng, Zhong Xinyi, and popular clubs competing for dominance. And Lin Dong is a thug under the hands of Hongxing Big Boss B. But in fact, Lin Dong has another layer of identity, which is an undercover police officer under Huang Zicheng. However, Lin Dong, an undercover police officer, is a bit too dedicated. In order to gain the trust of Boss B, he really didn't fight to the death. As a result, he achieved great success and was tricked into this damn prison by Boss B. At the thought of this, Lin Dong became angry. Hold his mother in his mouth, big shot B, this bastard. He did so much for his original body, and he even sent him to prison with his backhand. Huang Zicheng is also a slacker. Even Big Boss B bought me, and he even asked me to go back and become an undercover agent. Just as Lin Dong was cursing in his heart. Squeak. The door is open. A police officer holding a baton spoke up. Lin Dong, right. Congratulations on your release from prison after serving your sentence. Come with me. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong stood up straight from the bed with a carp. Finally. He finally waited for this day. Following the footsteps of the police officers, I walked through a long corridor. Squeak. Another sound of opening the door. Shwa. Strong sunlight shone in, and Lin Dong instinctively covered his eyes with his hands. In his ear, the police officer's emotionless voice rang out. Let's go out. From now on, reform yourself and be a good person. Lin Dong also doesn't know how he came out. When I regained my senses, I was already standing on an empty field. Behind him is the tightly closed gate of the prison. In an instant, Lin Dong only felt a sourness in his eyes. He finally came out. And there's also Boss B, who is so stubborn. Today is his day of release from prison, and he didn't even send anyone to pick him up. Okay. Very good. Since Lin Dong has come out, we must make Big Boss B pay the price. No, more than that. He wants to make the entire Hong Kong island submit to his feet. At this moment. Ding dong. A sudden and abrupt sound came from my mind. The explosive weapon system is currently being activated suddenly. Lin Dong's eyes lit up. Sure enough, every traveler must bring a system. 3 years have passed, and he has finally waited. Ding dong, system activation successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 explosive weapon card with 10 attribute points. Meanwhile, a blue attribute board came to mind in Lin Dong's mind. Name. Lin Dong, Power. 9, Agile. 8, Constitution. 9, Level. LV.1, the next level requires 500,000 Hong Kong dollars, summon soldiers. 0/0, Summoner. None, Backpack. Explosive weapon card *1, 10 attribute points, ordinary person attributes. 5.10, it took Lin Dong half a day to figure out what was going on with this system. Attribute points, as the name suggests, are used to enhance various attributes of the body. And explosive soldier cards can randomly explode a special soldier. For each level up, you will receive an explosive weapon card. Ordinary soldiers, on the other hand, need to use money to exchange for 10,000 Hong Kong dollars and 1 ordinary soldier. And the exchanged ordinary soldiers are consumable. For example, if you can only explode 10 soldiers in total, and if you explode 10 soldiers and die 9 soldiers, then you will leave 9 vacancies, and you can still explode 9 more soldiers. Moreover, the loyalty of the soldiers exposed is 100%, so there is no need to worry about betrayal. Seeing this, Lin Dong's eyes lit up, and an excited smile appeared on his face. Good thing. It's really a good thing. I don't know what kind of soldiers this explosive weapon card can unleash. With a trial mentality, Lin Dong first assigned 10 attribute points to 3 attributes. Next, click. With a soft sound, Lin Dong felt a warm current all over his eyes and limbs. Next second, Lin Dong felt his muscles bulging all over, his whole body full of strength. Boom! With a loud explosion, Lin Dong slowly opened his eyes. At this point, Lin Dong's physical fitness has surpassed the peak of ordinary people. Step into the bottom of the red stick. Lin Dong clenched his fist and felt the strength of his body. A satisfied smile rose from the corner of his mouth. The system is not deceiving me. With attribute points at the forefront, Lin Dong is even more curious about explosive weapon cards. Immediately, he silently recited in his heart, "Unlock explosive weapon cards." What are you counting in Chapter 2? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Suddenly, a mechanical sound came from the system in my ear. Then, the attribute board in front of Lin Dong changed. Name: Lin Dong, Power. 13, Agile. 11, Constitution. 12, Level. LV.1, the next level requires 500,000 Hong Kong dollars, summon soldiers. 0/0 Summoner. Gao Jin, can manifest, backpack. 10 attribute points. Suddenly, a hint of surprise flashed in Lin Dong's eyes. I didn't expect such a powerful character to be exposed during the first explosion. Suit thugs, Gao Jin. Congratulations to the host for unlocking Gao Jin. Is it concrete? No. Faced with the system's inquiry, Lin Dong immediately refused. Although Gao Jin is very powerful, it is not yet the time for concrete manifestation. After all, he has something more important now. Go see Big Boss B. Immediately, Lin Dong reached out and hit a car. Go to Causeway Bay, Starry Sky Bar. At the same time, Starry Sky Bar. Boss B and Chen Haonan gathered together. In 3 years, with the help of Big Shot B, Chen Haonan's fame has become increasingly famous. Chen Haonan even took in some talented little brothers such as Shanji and De Tian'er. At once, there was no difference in popularity. Just as everyone was drinking to their heart's content, the mountain chicken beside them seemed to be drunk and said to Big Boss B. Brother B, when will you make our big brother the boss? Upon hearing these words, Chen Haonan quickly spoke up and scolded. Shanji, how can you talk? Brother B has his own arrangements. Although he said that, Chen Haonan's gaze towards Big Boss B was full of anticipation. Seeing this, Big Boss B put down his glass and couldn't help but smile. It's okay, I knew you guys couldn't hold your breath. Well, I have to tell you sooner or later, otherwise I'll tell you now. Upon hearing these words, Chen Haonan and others stopped singing and drinking. Everyone held their breath and looked at Big Boss B. Anan, Zhong Xinyi is very optimistic about you. There is a troublemaker named Shou Biao on Ao Island, and Zhong Xinyi is asking you by name to handle it. As long as you do this beautifully, Zhong Xinyi will give you a red stick. Speaking of which, Boss B raised his hand and patted Chen Haonan's shoulder, saying, Anan, come on. Don't lose my face. Chen Haonan was completely stunned. He didn't come back to his senses until Big Boss B patted his shoulder. Immediately, his face turned red with excitement, and he stood up with a glass of wine. Brother B, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Without your support, there would be no Chen Haonan today. I will always be your most loyal little brother. I will definitely kill this street thug, Xiao Biao. I will definitely not lose your face. After speaking, Chen Haonan drank the wine in his hand in one gulp. After listening to Chen Haonan's words, Big Boss B nodded in satisfaction. That's why he likes Chen Haonan. Know when to say what to say. To do things for him, we must also be grateful to him, only he is obedient. This kind of talent is suitable for being a little brother. It's not like Lin Dong, who overshadowed Big Brother. Such people deserve to die. Just thinking about it, at this moment. Suddenly, a clamor came from the door. What's going on? Who is so ungrateful, dare to come to his territory and cause trouble? Immediately, Big Boss B was about to get up, but was stopped by Chen Haonan. Brother B, how can I use you for such a small matter? You can sit and drink with peace of mind. Shanji, come with me to take a look. Speaking, he walked towards the hotel door with the pheasant. However, just walked to the hotel entrance. Bang! Before Chen Haonan could react, a black shadow suddenly rushed towards him. Then he fell heavily in front of Chen Haonan. Isn't this the little brother guarding the door? Suddenly, Chen Haonan's pupils shrank and he looked towards the entrance of the bar like an enemy. I saw the person Chen Haonan least wanted to see standing at the door. Lin Dong. I saw Lin Dong kick Hong Xing, who was in trouble on the ground, and then stride in. Faced with the sudden appearance of Lin Dong, Chen Haonan suppressed his guilt and squeezed out a smile before speaking. Donga, when did you come out? Why didn't you tell us so we could go pick you up? Pick him up. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong's face showed a mocking smile. Chen Haonan, I'm not here to reminisce about the past with you. Where is Boss B? Upon hearing these words, Chen Haonan's face immediately turned ugly. His name is Lin Dong, Donga. Lin Dong called him Chen Haonan directly. And it's even more like calling Big Boss B by name. Just, before Chen Haonan had a chance to erupt, the nearby pheasant suddenly became furious and spoke up. What are you, Brother B? You can see us as you please. You dare to call my elder brother's name directly, I see you're living impatiently. Speaking, the mountain chicken waved its fist and was about to pounce at Lin Dong. Mountain chicken. Chen Haonan symbolically shouted and then took a half step back without any trace. My eyes are filled with thick teasing. Coming out of the bitter kiln, that person's body is mostly exhausted due to discomfort. Besides, Lin Dong also squatted for 3 years, did he really consider himself to be the #1 hitter in Causeway Bay? Watching the mountain chicken's fist get closer and closer to Lin Dong. Just as I thought about the appearance of my former top hitter being rubbed on the ground by my own little brother. The smile on Chen Haonan's face couldn't be suppressed as it grew bigger and bigger. However, the next second. I only heard a mournful cry. 10 meters. 5 meters. 3 meters. At the moment when his fist was about to approach Lin Dong. Lin Dong's feet are kicking the ground. The mountain chicken only felt a black shadow flicker in front of him. Fist instantly emptied. I haven't waited for the mountain chicken to reflect yet. Immediately afterwards, a large hand with distinct joints grabbed the pheasant's wrist and pulled back forcefully. At the same time, Lin Dong's foot kicked fiercely at the chicken's knee. Pop it. In an instant, the mountain chicken knelt to the ground with a painful sound. And Lin Dong lifted his foot and fiercely stepped on the back of the mountain chicken. What kind of thing are you? When I hit Causeway Bay, you didn't know where to live in mud. However, the mountain chicken was already humiliated when Lin Dong stepped on it. Upon hearing Lin Dong's words, a wave of thoughts immediately swept over him, and he couldn't help but say, "You're not boasting. If you have the ability, just kill me." Upon hearing these words, Lin Dong immediately became happy. Immediately, my gaze turned cold. Then I'll fulfill you. Speaking, Lin Dong exerted force on his hands. Click. A faint sound. As long as Lin Dong applies more force, the mountain chicken's arm will be completely broken. But Chen Haonan clearly didn't expect Lin Dong to squat in the bitter kiln for so long, and even after coming out, his strength would still be so powerful. He was so anxious that he turned around. At this moment, a familiar voice came from behind. Adong, when did you come out? You didn't tell me, who is a big brother, so I can take care of you. If anyone doesn't agree with Chapter 3, then I'll hit them. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. As he spoke, a figure slowly walked out of the private room door. It's Big Boss B. Just now, Big Boss B saw it all. I thought that after 3 years of hard work, Lin Dong's skills had already been worn down into a useless person. Unexpectedly, I don't know if it's the illusion of Big Boss B. After coming out, Lin Dong seems to be even more powerful than 3 years ago. Immediately, Big Boss B suppressed his displeasure and fear in his heart. A hypocritical smile pulled out on his face. Strode towards the east of the forest. Lin Dong, you have suffered in the past 3 years, but don't worry, I will definitely not mistreat you. Speaking, he reached out and patted Lin Dong's shoulder. My subordinates are not sensible, they are all our own brothers. Please show mercy and let him go. Shanji, what are you waiting for? Apologize to Lin Dong quickly. The mountain chicken, which was trampled under Lin Dong's feet, still refused to accept it. But for the sake of face, Big Boss B reluctantly spoke up and said, Donga, I'm sorry. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong did not speak, but the mockery on his face became increasingly intense. Boss B is really good. Even one of the horses under Chen Haonan's hands is protected, but he took the original body that helped him capture Causeway Bay and imprisoned it for 3 years. Okay, that's great. Since Brother B has said so, I naturally want to give Brother B this face. Upon hearing this, both Big Boss B and Chen Haonan breathed a sigh of relief. However, the next second. Click. A crisp sound. Accompanied by a mournful cry from the pheasant. Lin Dongsheng took off his entire arm. At this point, Lin Dong slowly released his hand and moved his foot away from the mountain chicken. This time I'm just taking off your arm, but next time it won't be so easy. After speaking, Lin Dong looked up and suddenly looked at Chen Haonan, slowly speaking, and you, take care of your dog. Suddenly, Chen Haonan's face turned ugly. And Big Boss B's face also darkened. I didn't expect Lin Dong to be so disrespectful to him. Boss B's previously unreal smile suddenly faded a bit. So he was too lazy to talk nonsense to Lin Dong anymore, and immediately spoke up as if to dismiss him. Lin Dong, I know you haven't had a good time in the past 3 years, so I feel angry in your heart. Alright, I'll give you 500,000 first. Take it and go out to relax. Let's talk about things slowly in the future. Speaking, he waved his big hand. Immediately, the younger brother under his command came out with a small box and handed it to Lin Dong. 500000, hush. Seeing this scene, the young Hongxing brothers present all took a deep breath of air. You should know that some low-level dwarf mules may not make it to 500,000 for half their lives. Lin Dong, on the other hand, was just a bitter kiln that had been squatting for the club for 3 years, and Big Boss B actually made a move of 500,000 yuan. Suddenly, all the little brothers present couldn't help but marvel at Big Boss B's emphasis on loyalty and loyalty. And when Lin Dong received the money, he also caught a glimpse of the expressions of everyone present. Boss B really has a good plan. If we only talk about squatting in a bitter kiln for 3 years and giving 500,000 yuan out, it is indeed quite a lot. However, as the former big shot B, he made great contributions, but this 500,000 yuan can be easily written off. Moreover, listening to what Big Boss B means, this 500,000 yuan is not for him to entertain, but to give him a settlement fee. This is to prevent him from coming out again in the future. Thinking of this, Lin Dong gave a cold smile and a hint of chill flashed in his eyes. Kicked the person after using it. There is no such good thing in the world. Immediately, Lin Dong smiled slightly and weighed the box in his hand. It's still Brother B's grandeur. But Brother B, it's better to clarify some things. At that time, I said, as long as I help you kill Bagwan, you will let me open the incense hall and raise the red stick. I wonder if this statement still counts. Boom. As soon as Lin Dong said these words, Boss B's hands suddenly froze, and his smile completely disappeared from his face. Why doesn't Lin Dong have any discerning value? The reason he gave him 500,000 is to stop his mouth. Who would have thought that Lin Dong would even mention the matter of the red stick? And Chen Haonan beside him naturally saw the displeasure of Big Boss B. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He knows, the opportunity has come to show off. Immediately, Chen Haonan took a step forward. Donga, although I respect you, I also know that you killed Ba Guan and made great contributions to the club back then. But I know, it doesn't mean others also know. As soon as you're out of prison, let Brother B give you the position of the red stick. It's easy for his subordinates to come and refuse. Pretty upon hearing this, Big Boss B looked at Chen Haonan with satisfaction in his eyes. It's not worth praising him. As he spoke, Big Boss B looked at Lin Dong with a pretense of embarrassment and said, Ah Dong, Ah Nan is right. It's really difficult to convince everyone to take you up now. Well, in a while, I will definitely give you a red stick promotion. After a while. Ha! Not to mention standing a stick, it's not certain whether his Boss B can survive until that time. Thinking of this, Lin Dong spoke in a deep voice. What's so difficult about this? Who doesn't agree, I'll just call him server. As he spoke, his gaze coldly swept over the crowd present. Suddenly, everyone trembled as if entangled in a venomous snake. Even in the past 3 years, who hasn't heard of Lin Dong's deeds? Moreover, the mountain chicken can be considered a very good fighter under the hands of the big shot bee, and Lin Dong took off one of his arms on the spot. No one wants to touch this eyebrow. Seeing everyone silent, Lin Dong frowned slightly and said to Big Boss B. Brother B, you have also seen that everyone has no objections. Moreover, since Brother B's words are hard to recall, I don't think Brother B wants to be stabbed in the spine in front of Jiang Tiansheng because of this small matter. Chapter 4. Find an opportunity to defeat Lin Dong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon hearing these words, Big Boss B's face immediately turned ugly. A hint of killing intent also rose from the bottom of my eyes. Lin Dong dares to threaten him. I am simply living impatiently. However, it was Lin Dong who had reason, and Big Boss B couldn't come out and swallow it. At this moment, Big Boss B's spiritual light flashed, and an excellent attention welled up in his heart. Immediately, Big Boss B's face once again showed a warm smile. Ah Dong, this red stick is not something I don't want to give you. When you killed Ba Guan and squatted in the bitter kiln, it wasn't considered completing the task. Zhong Xinyi took back the quota for the red stick. However, just right now, there is an opportunity. Zhong Xinyi has assigned a task, which is to go to Ao Island to solve the problem of the troublemaker, mourning. Originally, Zhong Xinyi meant to let Anan go, but you came back. So, how about going with Anan? When Mourning Biao dies, no matter who killed him, I will tell Zhong Xinyi that you solved it and let him make you a red stick. How about that? Boom. Upon hearing these words, everyone present was stunned. Including Chen Haonan. Everyone present knows that Boss B is determined to promote Chen Haonan to the top. I didn't expect Big Boss B to make such a promise. Let Chen Haonan contribute and Lin Dong enjoy the fruits. No matter how you look at it, it's all Lin Dong who made it. After listening to Big Boss B's words, Lin Dong showed neither sadness nor joy on his face. After all, how could Chen Haonan be wronged with the urine like Big Boss B? This trip to Ao Island must be more ominous than good. But it doesn't matter. Lin Dong had never thought of letting Big Boss B give him the red stick with just a few words. He came here just for this opportunity. He wants a loud battle. Tell the whole Hongxing. He Lin Dong, he's back. Thinking of this, Lin Dong smiled slightly and said, "Thank you, Brother B." After speaking, he immediately picked up a small box containing 500,000 Hong Kong dollars and strode out of the bar. After knowing that Lin Dong's figure had completely disappeared, Boss B just returned to the private room with an unpleasant expression on his face. Chen Haonan followed closely behind and then tightly closed the door of the private room. Click. After confirming that the door was closed, Chen Haonan took 3 steps into and anxiously sat next to Boss B. "Brother B, are you really going to give the red stick to that kid Lin Dong?" Originally, when Lin Dong was not squatting in the bitter kiln, he would be oppressed everywhere. Finally, Lin Dong went in, while Chen Haonan had only been in the limelight for a few years. He is about to take the position of the red stick. As a result, Lin Dong was released from prison without dying. Give it a sidekick. How could he be content with this? After listening, Big Boss B calmly lit a cigarette. Then he smiled slightly, revealing his yellowed teeth. How could it be? Lin Dong still wants to be a red stick. Let's live our next life. So, Brother B, what did you mean earlier? Chen Haonan's eyes rolled as he thought of something, and his face immediately beamed with excitement. What you mean is to let me take the opportunity to kill Lin Dong while I'm on Ao Island. As he spoke, Chen Haonan also crossed his hand and made a motion of wiping his neck. But Big Boss B extinguished the cigarette butt in his hand and spoke in confusion. What did you just say? I didn't hear you clearly. Chen Haonan immediately understood. I misunderstood, Brother B, you didn't say anything. Come on, Brother B, drink. A child can be taught. Boss B nodded in satisfaction and immediately picked up his glass of wine. Chen Haonan quickly got up and bent down to have a drink with Big Boss B. The two of them had the same head, drank the wine from their glasses in one gulp, and then looked at each other with a smile, as if to celebrate Lin Dong's death in advance. Meanwhile Lin Dong carried the box and followed the route in his memory to a tube building. In 3 years, the house had already been in a state of disrepair. Lin Dong also has no intention of staying here. He only remembered that there seemed to be a meal box under the bed, containing a full 50,000 Hong Kong dollars. I felt that the money was not clean, so I kept it under the bed and it was useless. But Lin Dong doesn't think so. Where can there be any impure reason for earning money based on one's own abilities? However, after 3 years, Lin Dong couldn't find the key long ago. Just kick the door open. Bang! The huge iron door suddenly fell to the ground, splashing dust all over the floor. After the dust cleared, Lin Dong slowly walked into the room and turned on the lights. Click. Fortunately, the lights were still functional, and the orange lights lit up the entire room, finally adding a bit of popularity. Lin Dong didn't hesitate and headed straight to the bedroom. Quickly find the dusty lunch box under the bed. Open the lunch box and inside is a brand new 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. Fortunately, the money is still there. Lin Dong naturally had no intention of staying here and immediately took the money to the hotel to book a room. I took a hot bath in pain and then slept in bed for the first time in 3 years. It wasn't until Chen Haonan's phone call that Lin Dong woke up leisurely. Brother Dong, all the brothers are here. Where have you been? It's almost here, what's the rush? Lin Dong casually said a perfunctory sentence, but before the other person could react, he hung up the phone directly. Immediately, Lin Dong rubbed his eyebrows and called the system. Originally, he wanted to wait until Hong Kong Island before exploding troops. But thinking about going to Ao this time, Chen Haonan is very likely to take action on the way. To avoid trouble, Lin Dong decided to use the explosive weapon card now. Next second, a man in a black suit with a big back appeared in front of Lin Dong out of thin air. It's Gao Jin. I saw Gao Jin looking at Lin Dong, then nodded slightly and respectfully shouted, Big brother. Chapter 5. Chen Haonan's action, Lin Dong sinks into the sea. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Looking at Gao Jin, who had already become concrete in front of him, Lin Dong nodded in satisfaction. Raise your hand and place it on the box containing 500,000 yuan. Immediately, my mind moved. Suddenly, the money that had originally filled the entire box. In an instant, all disappeared. At this time, Lin Dong's attribute board also changed. Name: Lin Dong, Power. 13, Agile. 11, Constitution. 12, Level. LV.2, the next level requires 1 million Hong Kong dollars, summon soldiers. 0/50 Summoner. Gao Jin, summoned, backpack. Explosive weapon card *1, with 10 attribute points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the first upgrade, reward skill card *1, seeing this, Lin Dong raised his eyebrows. After upgrading, it is indeed different. Not only do they have 50 more summonable soldiers, but they also have 1 explosive weapon card and 1 skill card. So, Lin Dong used both explosive weapon cards and skill cards, and also allocated attribute points. Anyway, with Gao Jin by his side, Lin Dong decided to add all his attribute points to agility and physique. Name: Lin Dong, Power. 13, Agile. 16, Constitution. 17, Level. LV.2, the next level requires 1 million Hong Kong dollars, skill. Danger prediction, can perceive danger 30 seconds in advance, summon soldiers. 0/50 Summoners. Gao Jin, summoned, Wang Jianjun, concrete, backpack. None without hesitation, Lin Dong chose to take immediate action. Suddenly, a dazzling white light appeared before Lin Dong's eyes. Lin Dong instinctively squinted his eyes. Wait for the white light to dissipate. In front of Lin Dong, a man with a triangular army spear in his hand and a solemn aura appeared. It's Wang Jianjun. At the moment of seeing Lin Dong, Wang Jianjun immediately knelt on one knee, lowered his head towards Lin Dong, and respectfully spoke up. Big brother. Lin Dong nodded in satisfaction. After looking at the time, it seems that everything just happened took a long time, but in fact, it was only half a minute. Immediately, Lin Dong stood up and spoke slowly, let's go, Chen Haonan and the others should be in a hurry. Meanwhile, Doc. Chen Haonan frowned and anxiously looked at the watch in his hand. The mountain chicken, who had already attached its dislocated arm to the side, couldn't help but curse. Damn it, when exactly will Lin Dong come? Didn't you just spend a few years in prison for the club? You really treat yourself like something. Mountain chicken. Immediately, Chen Haonan scolded, however, don't look at Chen Haonan's surface scolding, in fact, he also thinks so in his heart. This Lin Dong, the shelf is too big. As the departure time approached, Chen Haonan's impatience grew stronger in his heart. Over time, in the end, Chen Haonan couldn't help but speak up. Alright, wait a minute. Let's board the ship directly. There are plenty of opportunities to eliminate Lin Dong. But there are not many opportunities for meritorious service. This time, consider it as Lin Dong's lucky escape. The next time may not be certain. Immediately, Chen Haonan, along with Shan Ji and others, turned around and was about to board the ship. At this moment, behind him, Lin Dong's voice came. Sorry everyone, I've been waiting for so long. Speaking, with Gao Jin behind him, Wang Jianjun strode forward. Unexpectedly, Lin Dong came. Immediately, a hint of ferocity flashed in Chen Haonan's eyes. However, when he turned back to look at Lin Dong, but it was discovered that Lin Dong did not come alone. There are still 2 people behind him. Immediately, Chen Haonan's eyebrows furrowed fiercely. Donga, this operation is very dangerous. It's better not to bring so many people. Speaking, he glanced at the two people behind Lin Dong. These two people are not easy to deal with at first glance. If he had them follow, how could he still take down Lin Dong? And when Lin Dong heard this sentence, he couldn't help but feel happy. Chen Haonan, do you want to see how many people you brought with you? One sentence made Chen Haonan choke. Chen Haonan brought 4 people here, which is twice as much as Lin Dong. There is indeed no position to say about Lin Dong. But Chen Haonan still didn't give up and spoke up. Donga, it's not that I don't want you to take my little brother, but you also need to let me know in advance. We only bought 7 tickets. However, before Chen Haonan could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Lin Dong raising his hand. This is easy to handle. Why don't you kick 2 from under your hands? Anyway, you're just a bunch of trash. What? Waste. Now, whether it's Chen Haonan or Shanji and others, their faces are all ugly. The mountain chicken even wanted to rush forward, but was tightly grabbed by Chen Haonan's arm. However, Lin Dong ignored the reactions of Chen Haonan and others at all. With Gao Jin, Wang Jianjun walked straight onto the cruise ship. Big brother, why did I stop me just now? That kid Lin Dong said that to us. After Lin Dong's figure completely disappeared, the mountain chicken angrily said. But Chen Haonan's face showed a gloomy smile. It's okay, just 2 tickets. Just board the ship and make up for it. He can only get by with his mouth addiction. Don't forget our plan, don't startle the snake. Yes, their plan. Thinking of this, a hint of malice flashed in the eyes of Shanji and Chen Haonan coincidentally. Want to be promoted to the red stick. It also depends on whether Lin Dong has this fate. Late at night. Hong Kong Island is neither close nor far from Ao Island. It takes at least 1 day by boat. Tonight is destined to be spent on the boat. Inside the cabin. Squeak. The cabin door suddenly opened. I saw 2 people sneaking in. It's the pheasant and foreskin. The foreskin was doing this kind of thing for the first time, and he was very timid. He followed closely behind the pheasant and said in a low voice. Brother Chicken, is this really Lin Dong's room? Who else can it be if it's not Lin Dong's? Stop talking nonsense. As they spoke, the 2 cautiously approached Lin Dong's bedside. Then, the 2 exchanged a glance in the darkness. Immediately, the mountain chicken took out a piece of medicated cloth from its arms and tightly blocked Lin Dong's mouth. At the same time, the foreskin tightly held down Lin Dong's body, preventing him from breaking free. Time passes by minute by second. In the end, the struggling movements of the people in bed became smaller and smaller, and there was no movement in the end. It's done. Who would have thought that Lin Dong didn't share a cabin with his 2 younger brothers, but instead lived alone in one? Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get it so easily. Brother Chicken, what should we do now? What should I do? Of course I tied it up and threw it into the sea. Speaking of this, a hint of ferocity flashed in the eyes of the mountain chicken. You deserve it, isn't Lin Dong quite crazy? And took off one of his arms. Then he threw Lin Dong into the sea. Let him taste the feeling of being conscious but powerless, only able to drown alive. Immediately, the mountain chicken and foreskin wrapped the Lin Dong on the bed in a brown burlap bag and tied it up. The foreskin is scouting ahead, while the pheasant is carrying a burlap bag and following behind. There was no one along the way. In the end, the 2 arrived at the stern of the ship. The foreskin and the pheasant each grabbed the ends of the burlap bag. 3, 2, 1. Pop it. Just hear a huge splash of water. Then return to calmness. And Lin Dong has completely sunk to the bottom of the sea, with uncertain life and death. Chapter 6. Take advantage of the situation. Lay a net in the dark. You are listening at novel.Full.Audio. Inside the cabin. Chen Haonan was restlessly walking back and forth. It's been so long, why haven't they come back yet? I don't know if the mountain chickens can succeed. Just as Chen Haonan couldn't help but want to go out and take a look. Squeak. The door inside the cabin opens, the mountain chicken walked in with an excited expression on its face. Without waiting for Chen Haonan to inquire, the mountain chicken immediately spoke up. Big brother, it's done. Lin Dong has already been thrown into the sea by us to feed sharks. Upon hearing this, Chen Haonan also showed a proud smile on his face. Isn't Lin Dong crazy? Isn't it that he doesn't take Chen Haonan seriously? I don't even know how to die now. This is the end of offending Chen Haonan. However, Chen Haonan cautiously asked, has anyone noticed? The mountain chicken immediately patted its chest and promised. Don't worry, big brother. I've seen both the foreskin and I haven't seen anyone around. By the way, what about those two little brothers brought by Lin Dong? Upon hearing this, Chen Haonan smiled nonchalantly. It's just two little brothers. We're probably looking for big brother tomorrow morning when the ship is full. We don't have to worry, we'll just leave as soon as the ship docks. Think of this. Chen Haonan's eyes were filled with excitement. After Lin Dong died, he had no stumbling blocks. When the ship docked, they killed the little scoundrel Sun Biao again. When the time comes, who will give up the position of the red stick to him? At the same time. Inside the cabin. Squeak. The bathroom door slowly opens. I saw a figure slowly walking out from inside. It's Lin Dong. Half an hour ago. Lin Dong is lying in bed, taking a nap. Suddenly, a chill struck and made Lin Dong suddenly open his eyes. Immediately, an ordinary soldier exploded and made him lie in bed. And I went to the bathroom myself. Sure enough, at the moment the bathroom door closes, the cabin doors open simultaneously. The ones who came in were Foreskin and Pheasant. Sure enough, the danger prediction function provided by the system is indeed useful. Lin Dong watched with his own eyes as the Pheasant and Foreskin lifted the person out of the bed before slowly coming out of the bathroom. Big brother, why don't I go kill him? Gao Jin beside him spoke up and asked. And Lin Dong shook his head. Don't worry, what expression would they have if they saw that I wasn't dead? Thinking of this, Lin Dong's face showed a playful smile. Tomorrow, we will wait for the ship to dock. After Chen Haonan and his team disembark, we will disembark. Yes. The minute hand spun rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, the sky was already dawn. The damp sea breeze mixed with the smell of seafood rushed towards me. The waves kept beating against the hull of the ship until it docked before stopping slightly. Chen Haonan, along with Shan Ji and others, was the first to disembark from the mail ship, afraid of being discovered by Gao Jin and Wang Jianjun. Until he couldn't see the shadow of the ship's hull clearly, Chen Haonan slowed down and prepared to find a place to rest. Big brother, aren't we going to attend the funeral tomorrow? Are there no plans for today? This is my first time visiting Oshima, and I don't know how Oshima women feel. Look. Speaking, the mountain chicken rubbed its hands and a lewd smile appeared on its face. Chen Haonan has long known about the spleen of mountain chickens, which are addicted to lust. But anyway, there really aren't any other arrangements for today. Chen Haonan decided not to bother anymore. Immediately waved his hand. Go ahead, but don't forget tomorrow's characters. Come and gather early, don't be late. As soon as Shanji heard Chen Haonan's promise to let him go, suddenly, my heart and eyes were filled with beautiful ponies. I didn't listen to what Chen Haonan said and responded recklessly. Immediately apply oil to the soles of the feet and leave quickly. And at this moment, Lin Dong also slowly disembarked with Gao Jin and Wang Jianjun. Looking at the figures of Chen Haonan and others, Lin Dong's face lit up with a meaningful smile. Turning his head to Gao Jin beside him, he said. Go and check the location of Mao Biao, and then give him a message, saying that Chen Haonan from Hongxing has just arrived on Ao Island and wants to deal with him, so that he can be prepared. Meanwhile, within the casino, Sun Biao was gambling cards with his subordinates while happily drinking wine. It is said that the red star on Hong Kong Island is powerful, and in Ao Island, it's not just his loss that counts. A 30% commission, just thinking about it makes me feel great. Just as Xiao Biao was playing hard, the younger brother beside him leaned in his ear and whispered, "Brother Biao, someone just came to see you at the door and said it's Hongxing. Let me give you a message." Hongxing's. Immediately, Mourning Biao paused in his hand and spoke. What did he say? Upon hearing this, the younger brother hesitated and said, he said, "You're done. Chen Haonan from Hongxing has already arrived at Aodao and will come to see you tomorrow." What? Upon hearing these words, the dejected person lifted the table on the spot. Hongxing and Chen Haonan, right? They're so crazy. Notify everyone to gather here tomorrow. I want to see what Hongxing's Chen Haonan really has. I immediately responded and wanted to go down to deliver the message. But before he could take a few steps, he was stopped. Wait. How many people are you looking for? Find out where Chen Haonan is now, keep an eye on him, be clever, understand? Upon hearing this, the younger brother immediately responded and hurriedly went down to prepare for the order given by the Mourning Biao. And at this point, Chen Haonan still doesn't know that his actions have been exposed. At this point, he had already obtained a van from the contact person, opened the trunk, and checked the weapons inside. A machete and stick. After confirming that everything was there, Chen Haonan nodded in satisfaction. Let's go, rest well tonight, we still have big things to do tomorrow. After speaking, lock the trunk tightly. Return to the hotel with Foreskin, Nesting Skin, and others. However, what he didn't know was, after they had just left, a dark shadow quietly walked out. It's precisely the younger brother of the Mourning Biao. He easily opened the trunk of the van with a piece of wire. Immediately, he waved his big hand. The two little brothers behind each other stepped forward and took away all the weapons in the car. Click. The trunk door is tightly closed. After finishing all of this, Wang Jianjun retreated with his soldiers into the darkness. As if nothing had ever happened. Chapter 7. Chen Haonan jumps into the sea, Lin Dong takes action to extinguish the mourning. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next day. The sky broke into dawn, and a faint white dawn enveloped the Aodao Bridge. On the sea, there was only one lonely seagull flying by, and all four were silent. Suddenly, on the quiet Aodao Bridge, a dilapidated van suddenly appeared. And sitting in the car were Chen Haonan, Foreskin, and others. Big brother, are you really waiting for the mountain chicken? Upon hearing these words, Chen Haonan's face suddenly turned ugly again. Wait for him to do something, he'll know how to sun the horse, and don't even look at what time it is now. Seeing Chen Haonan unhappy, his Foreskin cleverly stopped speaking. However, at this moment, boom. On the silent bridge, suddenly, there was a roar of the car engine. I see, in front of Chen Haonan's car, a large white truck is accelerating towards this direction. What's going on? Watching the big truck getting closer and closer. Chen Haonan's face suddenly changed dramatically, and he instinctively stepped on the brake to slow down. Turning the steering wheel to go around, however, Chen Haonan's car just deviated a bit. Next second, bang. With a loud bang. The van, which was about to stop, suddenly moved forward under a burst of momentum. At this point, the Foreskin that almost fell out hurriedly spoke up. Big brother. There's another one behind. What? Two large trucks were sandwiched in front and back. Chen Haonan was too late to turn the steering wheel at this moment. Bang. With a loud bang, the entire van was sandwiched between two large trucks like a sandwich biscuit. Damn it, I was tricked. Chen Haonan, who was the first to react, immediately shouted loudly. What are you still doing in a daze, copying guys? The foreskin and others sitting in the back seat also reacted and half of their bodies leaned out of the seat. However, the next second, the Tian'er and Chow Pai turned pale and trembled as they spoke. Big brother, what should we do? The weapon is missing. Damn it. Immediately, Chen Haonan untied an iron chain from his clothes and said, let's go. However, click. The car door opened and Chen Haonan and others just got off the car. The next second, a group of people instantly descended from the truck and surrounded Chen Haonan and others. 200 people. At this moment, Shen Biao walked slowly out of the crowd and casually took out a machete to shake in front of Chen Haonan, saying, are you looking for this? Hongxing's weapon. How could it be in the hands of Mourning Biao? Sure enough, it's the ghost caused by Xiao Biao. Immediately, Shen Biao threw the machete in his hand onto the ground, stepped on the soles of his feet, and spoke. Hongxing and Chen Haonan, right. I heard you're crazy. Today, I'll let you die on Ao Island and sink your body into the sea to feed the fish. Give it all to me. Who? The next second, the younger brother of the mourning young man rushed forward in an instant. Chen Haonan and others were instantly engulfed. And not far away, Lin Dong was leisurely watching the play with Gao Jin. Big brother, are we going up now? Upon hearing this, Lin Dong shook his head and said, it's not urgent. Dida. Dida. Time passes by minute by second. It has to be said that Chen Haonan still has some skills on him. Over 100 people, it's hard to make Chen Haonan and others fight a bloody path. I saw the Tian'er using himself as a shield to protect Chen Haonan and escape. And the foreskin, using their own lives to procrastinate, were ultimately cut to death by random knives. Phimosis. Nest skin. Big brother, hurry up. In the end, Chen Haonan took a deep look at the foreskin and the body of the nest skin. Then, plop. A huge splash of water. I saw Chen Haonan jumping directly into the sea with the Tian'er. Damn it. Damn it. Seeing this, Shen Biao kicked the fence on the bridge fiercely. Despite all these people, Chen Haonan managed to escape. However, having 2 deaths can also be considered as a lesson for Hongxing's people. Thinking of this, Mourning Biao immediately prepared to take his younger brother back to the casino to celebrate. However, as soon as I turned around, I saw a handsome man standing in front of him. It's Lin Dong. Behind him were 50 soldiers who had just exploded. Soldiers who have been discharged from war are different, and the killing aura all over their bodies is extraordinary compared to a short mule. At this moment, these 50 soldiers were standing scattered and blocking the entire Oshima bridge. The visitor is not kind. Suddenly, it made Mourning Biao's face freeze. Hey, brother, I don't know you, do I? I have no grudges or grievances with you anymore. What are you doing? You're looking for trouble. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong smiled slightly. You don't know me, I just need to know you. Shou Biao, right. I'm Hongxing Lin Dong, and today I'm here to take your dog's life. What? Hongxing, it's Hongxing again. Mourning Biao's face suddenly became extremely gloomy. Although Lin Dong's younger brother behind him seems to have some skills, he is still 50 people. And there are 200 little brothers behind him. How dare Lin Dong say such a thing? Even crazier than Chen Haonan just now. Hongxing, right. I just ran for 2, and I'm really upset now. I'll use your head to offset it. Give it to me. Wow. As soon as the words fell, the younger brother of Mourning Biao rushed towards Lin Dong with a machete and club in his hand. As I watched, the machete in my hand was about to approach Lin Dong. Suddenly, I saw a black shadow flickering. Next second. Bang. Just hear a loud bang. I saw Gao Jin clenching his fist, and the white shirt on his arm was pushed up by him. And then with a sudden wave. Click. A crisp sound. The knife-wielding young man's chest instantly sank into a hole. A broken sternum. The heart was shattered by this punch. At the same time, the body of the younger brother also flew off the ground with both feet, and then heavily hit the younger brother behind him. With one punch, I knocked out 5 people. At the same time, the 50 little brothers behind Lin Dong acted together, 1 against 2. What? Seeing this scene, Xiao Biao was both anxious and angry, his eyes turning red. Immediately, he snatched the machete from the young man beside him and rushed in. Under the cover of my younger brother, Puzzy. 1 knife at a time. But when Huan Biao looked up, he was immediately dumbfounded. Wait. Why are there so many people left? Didn't you just see that Lin Dong's younger brother only has 50? Why has it been so long? I can't even finish killing. On the contrary, the number of younger brothers on my side is rapidly decreasing. Suddenly, Shen Biao noticed something was wrong and quickly shouted, "Withdraw." Chapter 8. 1 million. Unfortunately, it's not enough to buy your life. You are listening at novel full.audio. After speaking, Mourning Biao turned around and was about to run. However, it's too late. I saw a black shadow flickering in front of me. Next second, Gao Jin suddenly appeared in front of him. I see, Gao Jin propped himself up on 1 foot, lifted 1 leg high, and charged straight towards the forehead of the mourning young man. Not good. Xuanbiao instinctively bent his arms and protected his head with his elbows. However, click. I only heard a crisp sound. Unexpectedly, Shen Biao's arm was kicked off by Xing. And his whole body flew out sideways, then fell heavily to the ground. Bang! In this scene, the machete in the hand of Xiao Biao suddenly fell to the ground. Everyone stared wide-eyed in shock at this scene. Their boss just got kicked down like this. Run! 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 In the crowd, I don't know who shouted. In an instant, the younger brother of the mourning young man began to flee around. Damn it! Watching the fleeing little brother, Mourning Biao's eyes were crimson and his teeth clenched tightly. He swore that when he returned, he would chop up these greedy and ungrateful bastards and feed them to the dog. Thinking about it, Mourning Biao, who was lying on the ground, struggled to get up. However, at this moment. Duh. 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 A series of footsteps sounded. Next second. A shoe stomped heavily on him, making him unable to move. It's Lin Dong. Lin Dong's demonic voice rang out, "You just said you want a head. After speaking, give it a hard crush." Ah. Suddenly, Mourning Biao let out a pig-like howl. No, no, you heard me wrong. Donga, Mr. Lin. Please let me go. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong raised his eyebrows. Let you go? Sure. As long as you can come up with enough money to satisfy me, I'll let you go. How about that? Money. Suddenly, Shi Biao's eyes lit up. Xiao Biao is fond of gambling, so he carries a few coins with him. Besides, he runs 2 or 3 casinos under his command, and he just won several bets yesterday. Immediately, Shen Biao struggled to reach into his pocket and pulled out a bank card. Lin Yi, there is 1 million in this card. If there is no password, consider it as my filial piety to you. Please spare my life. Lin Dong smiled slightly and reached out to pull the card over. As a result, the strength on Shen Biao's body also disappeared. 1 million is indeed quite a lot. We're saved. Upon hearing Lin Dong's words, Bei Biao breathed a sigh of relief. But the next second. Puzzy. I saw Lin Dong taking the machete handed over by my younger brother. Hands up and knives down. Mourning Biao's head instantly separated from his neck. Puzzy. Blood spurts out. Gollum gollum. I saw Mourning Biao's head rolling around on the ground and finally facing Lin Dong. There was still shock and confusion on his face. Upon seeing this, Lin Dong spoke lightly. Unfortunately, the money you gave me didn't satisfy me. Gao Jin, put this head away, just in time, give a surprise to Hong Xing and his group of old folks. Upon hearing this, Gao Jin immediately took out a black bowling bag and wrapped the head of Mourning Biao. Meanwhile, Outao, on a standard king-sized room. The mountain chicken pushed aside the two white flowers next to it and suddenly stood up. It's over, I overslept, time has passed. I don't know how Big Brother and his team are doing, damn it, how can they even chop people when they're all soft-footed shrimp? The mountain chicken puts on its clothes, gets up immediately, and rushes out as soon as it opens the door. However, he happened to bump into a man. The anxious pheasant cursed on the spot. His mother, you can't walk long. You're in the way, don't you know? Get away. As he spoke, he reached out to push the man. However, there was no push. Suddenly, the mountain chicken suddenly woke up and looked up with a wary expression. What caught the eye was a familiar face. Wang Jianjun. Isn't this Lin Dong's person? How could he be here? Suddenly, the mountain chicken felt guilty and an ominous premonition rose from its heart. Shouldn't he know that Lin Dong was killed by a few of them? No, it's impossible. They had already seen it when they started. There are no other people at all. Wang Jianjun cannot possibly know. Immediately, the mountain chicken suppressed the feeling of guilt in its heart, raise your foot to bypass Wang Jianjun. However, the next second, Wang Jianjun's mournful voice sounded, our elder brother said, today we'll let you sink into the sea and feed the fish. What? Lin Dong. Wait, isn't Lin Dong already dead? However, Wang Jianjun did not give the mountain chicken the opportunity to think. Puzzy. I saw Wang Jianjun move his hand, shua. A beam of cold light flashed by. The next second, a triangular army pierced through the chest of the pheasant. Dida. Dida. Blood slowly dripped onto the ground along the blade pierced by the three armed forces. The mountain chicken widened its eyes in disbelief, eventually tilting its head and completely losing its breath. Puzzy. Wang Jianjun waved his hand and pulled out the Sanling army. Then he took out a burlap bag from behind and threw the dead pheasant inside. Carry it all the way to the seaside. Puzzy. Like last time, Lin Dong tied a stone to a burlap bag and threw it into the sea. The burlap slowly sank, and in the end, the sea returned to a calm state. Lin Dong, who had killed the Mourning Biao, did not rush back. But instead, he asked several soldiers under his command to withdraw the money from the bank account of the Mourning Biao and deliver it to the hotel. Sun Biao did not lie, there is indeed 1 million in this card. Looking at the two burlap bags in front of him, Lin Dong placed his hand on one of them. The next second, the burlap will quickly dry up. Sure enough. Next, Lin Dong processed the burlap bags in the same way. After the two burlap bags had all dried up, a mechanical sound echoed in Lin Dong's mind. Congratulations on upgrading the host to LV.3, obtaining 1 explosive weapon card and 10 attribute points. Lin Dong first assigned the attribute points and then unlocked the explosive weapon card. The next second, a brand new data board appeared in front of Lin Dong. Name. Lin Dong, Power. 16, Agile. 20, Constitution. 20 Level. LV.3, the next level requires 5 million Hong Kong dollars, Skill. Danger Prediction, can perceive danger 30 seconds in advance, summon soldiers. 0/100 Summoners. Gao Jin, summoned, Wang Jianjun, summoned, Wang Jiangwo, concrete, backpack. None. Chapter 9. Meeting Smoke, Lin Dongfeng's first appearance. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next day, after Wang Jiangluo's appearance, Lin Dong returned to Hong Kong Island with Gao Jin and others. Meanwhile, Hong Xing, in the conference room. In front of the statue of Guan Gong, smoke shrouded. When they came in, the officials took 3 sticks of incense and bowed 3 times in front of the statue of Guan Gong. After offering incense, I finally sat down. 12 whole masters, 11 have already arrived at this time. I saw these 11 people sitting around the conference table, chatting confidently. And the little brother they brought could only sit against the wall and stand until the end of the meeting. Be lucky enough to sit on the bench. Chen Haonan's deep boss BXIN naturally sat on the bench. However, Chen Haonan's face was not good. Looking at the moment. Ao Dao and his team lost 2 brothers, and the mountain chicken was nowhere to be found. He and De Tian'er barely managed to retrieve 2 lives. At this moment, De Tian'er was still lying unconscious in the hospital, and this meeting was probably also about the matter of Ao Dao. Chen Haonan's failure to complete the task is highly likely to result in punishment from the club. Amidst the hustle and bustle, at the door, a man dressed in an orange provocative suit walked in with steps that he didn't recognize and a few horses. It's Liangkun. I saw Liangkun come in, and at first glance, I saw Chen Haonan sitting on the bench. With a slight smile, he extended his thumb and aimed at Chen Haonan. Then, the wrist turned and the thumb turned down. Seeing Chen Haonan's face black and silent, Liangkun's mood instantly improved. Liangkun has always been at odds with Big Boss B. Hong Xing doesn't let fans go, it's because Big Boss B's backstabbing caused him to lose a lot of business. Once, it even caused him to lose 80 million worth of goods. However, Chen Haonan was not impressed and refused his invitation, wholeheartedly following the big shot B to the streets. That's against his pretty Kun. Now that Chen Haonan's actions have failed, he naturally feels happy. The smile on his face was even more undisguised. Thinking of this, Liangkun walked casually to Ji's side. Brother Ji, does sitting for so long hurt your back? TSK, we don't know where our dragon head is still immersed in the gentle countryside. In one sentence, the once bustling conference room suddenly quieted down. Yes, the time and place of each meeting are set and notified by Jiang Tiansheng. It's just that they always wait here, but Jiang Tiansheng hasn't come yet. This has long caused dissatisfaction among the hall masters, but due to the identity of the leader, no one has said anything unexpectedly. Liangkun openly said it. For a moment, the grievances in the hearts of all the churches couldn't help but be stirred up. However, we haven't had a chance to speak yet. Suddenly someone shouted at the door, Mr. Jiang. Suddenly, the main hall remained silent and stood up one by one, saying, Mr. Jiang. Upon hearing this, Mr. Jiang smiled slightly. Everyone sit down, sorry for being late. Upon hearing this, Liangkun rolled his eyes and went straight to the end seat of the conference table. At this moment, all 12 hall leaders have arrived. Jiang Tiansheng also put away his smile and spoke seriously. Alright, it's time to get down to business. I believe everyone has heard of it. Last week, our brothers went to Ao Island for business, and it's obvious that this was a failure. That's right, Chen Haonan and others went to Ao Dao. Not only did they not kill anyone, but also 2 brothers died. This is like stepping on Hong Xing's face. I threw it all to Ao Island. This matter cannot be so tolerated. Listening to Jiang Tiansheng's tone, Chen Haonan knew he was bound to be punished, and his face immediately turned pale. And Big Boss B was wholeheartedly protecting Chen Haonan. How could he watch him accept the family rules and quickly speak up? Mr. Jiang, I would like to explain this matter. However, before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Liangkun. It's a failure, it's useless to say anything. If I were to handle it, Hong Xing's reputation wouldn't be damaged. In the end, it wasn't me who came forward to negotiate. Otherwise, Hong Xing's reputation wouldn't have been affected, and even the 30% of the lottery would have been given to someone else. Upon hearing this, Big Boss B's face immediately turned ugly. He knows that Liangkun is intentionally targeting him. But what Liangkun said is also true, but Big Boss B cannot refute it. The several hall masters present also began to whisper. Who could tell that Liangkun only made it clear that he wanted to tear off a piece of meat from Boss B? Boss B has suffered some this time. Sure enough, the next second, Liangkun continued to speak. Ah B, it's not me targeting you. If you come out and do something wrong, you have to admit it. If you get beaten, you have to stand at attention. You can't even manage your own subordinates well, how can you manage Causeway Bay? In my opinion, it's better to entrust Causeway Bay to someone with the ability to manage it. That's right, Liangkun's ultimate goal is here. Causeway Bay not only has a lot of oil and water, but more importantly, it has many high cow and ports. It's perfect for attracting fans. Hong Xing doesn't attract fans, but Liangkun sneaks away and no one can control him. Among almost all the hall masters, Shu Liangkun is the wealthiest. Almost all the hall masters present have received benefits from Liangkun. For a moment, surprisingly, there was really support from someone. As we watched, the discussion grew louder and louder, and Big Boss B's face became increasingly ugly. Right here, creak. The door of the conference room was suddenly opened. Lin Dong slowly walked in with Wang Jiangwo and others. Sorry, I'm late. Speaking, it gave Wang Jiangwo a wink. Wang Jiangwo immediately understood. Bang! The bowling bag in hand was thrown directly onto the table in the conference room. Chapter 10. When a person's head is on the table, Liangkun is scared and paralyzed. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. This scene left everyone present confused. Who the hell is this person? How dare he act like this at the Hongxing conference? However, Chen Haonan was the first to react. At the moment he saw Lin Dong, Chen Haonan couldn't control his expression and quickly stood up. Lin Dong, why are you still alive? Aren't you already? However, before Chen Haonan could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the sharp response from the boss B. Anan. Suddenly, Chen Haonan realized that he had almost said something and quickly closed his mouth. Just a hint of resentment flashed in Lin Dong's eyes. Why? Why is it that his brother died, but Lin Dong is still alive? And there were a few seniors present who instantly remembered this name. Lin Dong. That's the #1 horse riding all the way from Fei'e Mountain to Causeway Bay. It can be said to have endless scenery. Unfortunately, if it weren't for the bad luck of killing Ba Guan and being imprisoned, there wouldn't be anything else going on with Chen Haonan now. I didn't expect that time would pass so quickly, and Lin Dong had already been released from prison. And when Liangkun saw Lin Dong, his face also looked ugly. You know, Ba Guan is his sworn brother and owes him 20 million more. And Lin Dong, this bastard, just cut it off. He won't come back for 20 million yuan at all. Thinking of this, Liangkun let out a cold snort and spoke without a smile. First is Chen Haonan, then Lin Dong. Big brother is not like big brother, little brother doesn't care. B, you really took in 2 good subordinates. Originally, Liangkun was very angry when he ridiculed Chen Haonan about his situation. But Chen Haonan is ultimately the person that his boss B wants to touch, and he can only swallow this tone. And what is Lin Dong? Not dying has already made Big Boss B very angry. Now that Liangkun is writing articles with Lin Dong, Big Boss B naturally won't bear it. Exactly, there's an extra vent. Immediately, Big Boss B raised his hand and slammed the table hard, cursing fiercely at Lin Dong. Who gave you the courage to break into the conference room while holding your mother in your mouth? It's ridiculous. Also, how dare you come back, damn it. Where did you go when Anan was working? I'm almost losing face to you. After speaking, he strode up to Lin Dong and raised his hand without hesitation to slap him. As he watched, his palm was about to hit Lin Dong's face. However, the next second, Boss B's hand suddenly froze from the air. No matter how hard he tries, he can't go down at all. I saw his arm suddenly grabbed by a sturdy hand. It's Wang Jiangwo. Even discerning people can tell that Wang Jiangwo is under Lin Dong's command. Being humiliated by his subordinates and still in front of so many hall masters, Big Boss B's face immediately turned ugly. Lin Dong, what do you mean by rebelling? Upon hearing this, Lin Dong seemed to have just realized, with a look of regret on his face, but there was no hint of apology in his tone. How could it be? Brother B, Jiangwo, why are you so insightful? Why don't you let Brother B go? After speaking, Wang Jiangwo finally relaxed. However, the force behind the loosening is too strong, surprisingly pushed the big shot B to the table. Squeak. The edge of the table slammed onto the waist of Big Boss B. After standing up, Liangkun gave Lin Dong a fierce look and said, "Good kid, you have the guts. I remember you." However, whether it was Chen Haonan's jealous gaze or Liangkun's warning words, Lin Dong did not pay attention. But watching Jiang Tiansheng slowly speak. Mr. Jiang, with the mournful young man's head presented, Hong Xing's business is not something that can be interfered with by any street thug. These words immediately delighted Jiang Tiansheng's heart. For those who mix up in clubs, one is loyalty, and the other is courage. When it comes to matters like loyalty, anyone can pat their chest and say they don't know how to back off, brother. But with courage, it's different. For example, Lin Dong, who was able to capture the head of the mourning Biao, remained unchanged all the way to the Bay Island. And Liangkun, with just one glance, was so scared that he fell to the ground. Thinking of this, Jiang Tiansheng became increasingly satisfied with Lin Dong and immediately applauded. Okay. Lin Dong, you have the ability and courage. You did a great job in mourning Biao. You saved my reputation as Hong Xing. Our club needs a newcomer like you. After speaking, he turned around and had someone take a box and hand it to Lin Dong. There is 600,000 in this box, which is your reward for killing the mourning tiger. Work hard in the future, and the club will not treat you unfairly. Upon hearing this, Lin Dong took the box, opened it and glanced at it before casually throwing it to Gao Jin beside him. Thank you, Mr. Jiang. But Mr. Jiang, I have one more thing. Is there anything else? Upon hearing these words, Big Boss B suddenly felt a bad premonition in his heart. However, before he could speak, he was interrupted by Lin Dong. Brother B once said, if I kill Ba Guan, give me a red stick. But who knew, after I was released from prison, Brother B said that I had just been released and it was difficult to subdue the crowd with the promotion of the red staff, so he asked me to go kill the mourning Biao. Now that mourning Biao is 4 years old, I don't know if Brother B's words still count. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone's gaze at Big Boss B changed one after another. Everyone knows that Boss B praises Chen Haonan, after all, everyone has their likes and dislikes. But Big Boss B's approach is a bit excessive. Who doesn't know, Causeway Bay was captured by Lin Dong. If it weren't for Lin Dong, could his Boss B sit in the position of the Hall Master so quickly? Even if you don't reward Lin Dong, you're still suppressing him from being promoted to the Red Staff. This kind of person, how worthy of being a big brother. In the face of everyone's gaze, Big Boss B could only grit his head and pull out a smile, but in his heart, he cursed Lin Dong inside and out. As the horse under his command, Lin Dong killed Sun Biao without communicating with him, causing him to lose a lot of face. Surprisingly, he even surpassed him and made a name for himself in front of Jiang Tiansheng and other hall masters. Now, he publicly reveals the private matters at the entrance of the hall to make others laugh. This is simply not taking him seriously as a big brother. Just like Lin Dong, why did he give him a red stick promotion? However, thinking so in my heart, my mouth could only say. Lin Dong has just come out, and many people no longer know him. He just raised his red stick, and I'm also afraid that the people under his command won't accept him. Don't worry, Mr. Jiang. When I go back, I will definitely open an incense hall for Lin Dong and raise the red stick. However, Jiang Tiansheng did not agree, and his gaze towards Big Boss B was also quite indifferent. I didn't expect Big Boss B to be so confused about things. Since you promised to be promoted to the Red Staff, why don't you do it now? I remember no one has been looking at Liangkun Street in Causeway Bay. Is it Chen Haonan helping? Starting from today, Chen Haonan will withdraw and Liangkun Street will be Lin Dong's venue. Shi, do you have any objections? Liangkun Street is the place with the most oil and water in Causeway Bay. Otherwise, Big Boss B wouldn't show this venue to Chen Haonan, who is still just a grass shoe. Now, this place has become Lin Dong's venue. But even if Big Boss B is no longer willing, after all, it was Mr. Jiang who spoke up, and there are so many hall masters watching. Boss B could only force a smile. Of course, this is what Lin Dong deserves. As a big brother, I haven't had time to be happy yet. How could I have any objections? Upon hearing these words, Jiang Tiansheng nodded with satisfaction. Without rules, there is no square. Xing naturally has his own rules, and no one can break them. In the case of Outao, there will be rewards and punishments. Chen Haonan acted impulsively and hastily, causing me Xing to lose 2 brothers and damage my reputation. According to family law, he will be whipped.